Some cartoon dogs spend their time chasing cats or digging up gardens. Towser had rather bigger things to worry about. Depending on the day, he might find himself dealing with monsters, dragons, goblins, aliens, or mysterious creatures lurking in the woods. Based on the books by author and illustrator Tony Ross, Towser arrived on children's television in the mid-1980s. Produced by King Rollo Films and narrated by Roy Kinnear, the animated series consisted of 26 5-minute episodes and was shown on children's ITV. At the centre of the programme was Towser himself, a scruffy but resourceful dog who always seemed to find trouble waiting around the next corner. Unlike many cartoon heroes, Towser wasn't particularly powerful or fearless. What he did have was determination and a knack for getting himself out of difficult situations. The world he inhabited was a curious mixture of fantasy and fairy tale. Among his friends were a king, a wizard, Dr. Smelly, and a cat called Sadie. Unfortunately for Towser, his enemies were rather more colourful. There was the Terrible Thing, a black monster with a taste for frightening dogs, the troublesome water rats, Goblin Gobble, and a collection of other odd characters who regularly disrupted the peace. The stories rarely stayed grounded for long. One episode might involve a lion, another a robot, while others featured haunted houses, dragons, black holes, and alien visitors. The programme never worried too much about logic. If a story needed a dragon, it got a dragon. If it needed an alien invasion, that appeared too. That unpredictability gave the series much of its charm. Visually, Towser carried the distinctive style associated with King Rollo Films. The animation was simple and colourful, closely reflecting Tony Ross's original illustrations. Characters moved through a world that felt as though it had stepped directly from the pages of a picture book. Roy Kinnear's narration was another important ingredient. Rather than relying heavily on character dialogue, the stories were guided along by his warm and instantly recognisable voice. It helped give the programme the feeling of a bedtime story being read aloud, even when Towser was facing dragons or monsters. Although the original television run was relatively short, the programme enjoyed a healthy afterlife through repeats. It returned to ITV, later appeared on Channel 4, and was shown as part of Take 5, a strand featuring classic children's programmes. It also travelled well beyond the United Kingdom, appearing in countries including Australia, New Zealand, and South Africa. There was merchandise too, although not on the scale of some larger children's franchises. The television series grew out of Tony Ross's successful line of Towser books, which remained the character's best-known tie-in products. Years later, all 26 episodes were released on DVD, allowing viewers to revisit Towser's adventures whenever they liked. What made Towser memorable was its willingness to throw almost anything into the mix. Monsters, magic, science fiction, and fairy tales all existed side by side, held together by a cheerful little dog who somehow managed to cope with whatever came his way. For a programme made up of short 5-minute stories, Towser packed a surprising amount into each adventure. There was always a new problem to solve, a strange character to meet, and another reason to wonder what on earth would happen next.